Okay, good to see everyone. Obviously a very exciting day for Tennessee football, but before we get started, I think it's the appropriate time, first of all, to congratulate our basketball team and Coach Barnes for a tremendous victory. I know TBA was hopping last night, and anytime that happens, that helps us in recruiting as well. So I'd like to congratulate them. In terms of signing day, as we all have come to know now, signing day has kind of turned into a season within itself. But really, this is a culmination of 1 to 2 to 3 years of hard work by a lot of individuals involved in this process. And it's really about relationships. We're in a relationship business. It's earning that trust over time. And our coaches did a great job with that. But we have a recruiting profile, and it's finding the right fit for our football program here at Tennessee. And we had some very specific needs in our program this year, and we really thought we needed to bring in as much speed and athleticism as we could, bring in individuals that could play multiple positions, and really give us the flexibility, whether it's on the offensive side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, or also special teams. And you can never have enough team speed, as we've all come to know in this conference, and that lends itself to playing very, very well in terms of your special teams. There's many thanks. There's a lot that goes into the recruitment process of a student athlete. So many people behind the scenes. I've said it, and I'll continue to say it. I believe we have some of the best people in all of the country right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. First of all, our coaches did a tremendous job. They're great ambassadors for our football program, but also their families. For the last, 3 weeks, they've been away from their families, been away from their children, and it's a process. You have a long recruiting weekend, and then you're jumping on planes immediately following Sunday, and they're gone for a week's time, and there's so much that goes into that. Our players. What can I say about our players? Truly invested. That was evident today. That was evident throughout the entire recruiting process. They're our best ambassadors that we have. They're our best recruiters for Tennessee football. Our recruiting department, led by Bob Weldon and Dana Hibbs, and the entire staff and organization there, they do a tremendous job. Our Thornton Center, led by Dr. Joe Scoggin, and our faculty and staff, the giving of their times on weekends, all times throughout the day to ask or to answer questions about academics. So much that goes into that. Tom Githens, Trevor Green, and Link Hudson. How about that production today on utsports.com? I think that rivals anyone in the country. When you look at the way it was done, first class, the way we do things here in every way, shape, or form. And then Mike Keith, Al Wilson, and Eric Ainge. What can I say about them? True professionals. Vol for Life's represent our program in a positive light. In the preparation, they've been here on campus for the last few days, preparing for today to make this a very, very special day for our fans, for our football program, and for our student athletes that we're signing today. Also, the Tennessee Air Force. Our donors that give willingly of their planes, we could not do it without them. They've meant so much to us, and I'm very, very thankful for all their efforts as well. And then what can I say? Our fan base, Vol Nation, best fan base in the country, most passionate fan base in the country. And our recruits understand that. They understand what they're representing on a daily basis. And again, it gets back to our current players. They did a great job, too, of really educating our recruits on what it is to wear the Power T, what it is to represent this great state of Tennessee and this great institution as well. I thought we made great inroads in different areas throughout the course of the country. When you look at 5 from the state of Georgia, 5 from Florida, 3 from Tennessee, total of 5 overall from Tennessee, and then venturing in different parts of the country as well. Again, I want to again, go back and warn everyone about, putting too much expectations on this incoming class. These are still 17, 18-year-old individuals working into adulthood, and our philosophy is you never really judge a recruiting class until 2 years down the road and how they mature, how they grow, and how they develop. So again, it's great to see everyone, and I'll answer any questions you may have.
As you continue to build the program, how does the recruiting pitch, without getting into specifics, obviously, how does the recruiting pitch kind of mold and develop throughout each recruiting cycle?
I don't really look at it as selling something or a recruiting pitch. I just think we have a great brand to sell. When you look at our facilities, when you look at the vision of our football program, when you look at our academic reputation, you look at our student body, you look at our Vol for Life program, you look at life after football. At some point in time, football is going to end. So you better make sure you have a great degree and you're set up for success in life after football. When you look at the opportunity to play in front of historic 102, 455 and all the great players that have come before them, and then again, great people. We have coaches that truly want to be here. They have a passion for being here at the University of Tennessee. And when you have passion for a place, you don't have to sell it. That positive energy, those positive vibes always come out, and this is a very, very special place.
We'll go to Paul, then Brent, and Patrick.
Butch, you mentioned you signed 5 out of Florida. I think that's more than the last 2 classes combined. Was that something you guys wanted to do from the beginning, or was that kind of when Larry got here, you were able to take advantage of some of those relationships? How did that kind of, take place?
I think it's a combination of all the above. We've always made a concentrated effort in the state of Florida, and everything is about relationships. And, our coaches that recruit that area did a tremendous, tremendous job. Obviously, the addition of Larry Scott really, really helped. And, from Bob Shoop to Larry Scott, coming in here at a very short notice, a very short period of time, and really have to forge and develop those relationships in a short period of time. They did a tremendous job. But all of our coaches, I tell you what, the efforts of Robert Gillespie should not go unnoticed. And all of our coaches, Tommy Thigpen, Larry Scott, all of them, I could single out all of our coaches. And that's the one thing about this staff is it's a collaborative effort. It's a group effort in all that we do. We recruit as a staff together. We kind of feed off of each other. And it just gets back to those positive vibes when you bring a young man on campus.
But there was kind of more unknown this last week than certainly with the 2 previous classes. Can you in any way describe what the last 7, 8, 9 days have been like for you and your staff?
Indescribable. It's been a round-the-clock process. We've had very few hours of sleep, whether it's traveling and finishing up, the contact period and the last chance to get in front of these young men and their families, or working the phones and finding out what's important to the young man and following up on everything, whether it's an academic question, whether it's a program question, an athletic question. So there's a lot that went into it, and you're right, Brent, in terms of this class went right down to the wire, and we just had that workmanlike approach. And again, our current players had a big helping hand in that, but this staff has done a tremendous job.
Patrick, then Michael Spencer, and Danny Parker.
Butch, I guess when you got up this morning, how confident were you that Congo was going to sign? And I guess was there a bit of relief when that one finally came in? And I guess how long, or when did he tell you? How long did he keep you guys kind of guessing or in the dark?
Confident because of the relationships that have been built over a long period of time. And we knew that this was a place that Jonathan felt very comfortable. He had established great relationships with a lot of our current players. And Robert Gillespie did a tremendous job in his recruitment. So I felt very confident, but as we all know, you never know. You just look around the country of things that have gone on signing day. And I think the other thing that we should all take notice on is a lot of these individuals had been committed for a very, very long period of time, and they all maintained their commitment. And this class became very, very strong. They became galvanized over time, and that's a tribute to the character of these individuals coming into our football program.
Michael, then Danny, then Steve, then Rob.
Coach, you guys make such a big deal about putting up a border around Tennessee, but what does it say that you go into Georgia and Florida in enemy territory and pull some of their top prospects as well?
Make no mistake about it, it all stems with home. It's a pride of who we are. Anytime you have a young man who grows up in this state and gets an opportunity to represent the University of Tennessee, I think the pride of this state, it means so much for an in-state individual to represent the University of Tennessee more than any other school in the country. And the passion behind our fan base. But also, we also have other states that we view as home territory. And so to be able to go in those other states and really assert ourselves was very big for our program and moving forward. And it's a challenge when you have to go in enemy lines, if you have to go in neighboring states or across the country to recruit a young man, that's a challenge in and of itself. So it has been a challenge, but it was great to make those inroads. But make no mistake about it, it starts with home first.
Danny, Steve, Rob, then Wes.
Coach, at certain positions, I've called your class developmental, especially along the offensive front with three guys that have offensive tackle type bodies, but especially Nathan Niehaus, Marcus Tatum need to add, I would say, at least 30 to 40 pounds. So how much confidence does that say about what Dave Lawson and Allison and those people do with engineering football players to you to take guys like that have to put on that much weight?
Great confidence, you know, in our entire organization, our sports science department, you just mentioned, from Dave Lawson and his staff to Allison Maurer, she does a tremendous job, but also Jason McVeigh and everyone involved in our organization. Our organization is as strong as anyone in the country. And everything is about the personal growth and development of a young man, both on the field and off the field, our Vol for Life program. So we do have that confidence, and we're in the developmental business. It's all about developing these individuals to meet their fullest potential and to be the best that they can possibly be, because they are part and representatives of the University of Tennessee football program. And you look at our offensive line, we felt we needed tackle-type bodies. We felt we needed to improve our length there, our wingspan, all that involved. And I tell you what, you know, you talk about going in bordering states or neighboring states or different states, and you come away with, you know, Marcus Tatum, who was the #1 offensive line prospect in the state of Florida. And we're very excited about him. But all three of those individuals in the offensive line, you know, the offensive line is a developmental position, and we're getting to a point in our program now where we're still going to play true freshmen, and that's one of the attractiveness of coming to the University of Tennessee. But make no mistake about it, you have to develop individuals up front within your football program, and we're excited about the future of those three individuals.
Steve up front, then Rob, Wes, Steven, Dustin, Paul, and that'll be it.
Because of the situation of the kind of the process you're going through, the last 2 years, you kind of sell early playing time on a lot of these guys. I imagine that's changed now. How did kind of the recruiting dynamic change now that the roster's a little more stocked, and did it make things easier or tougher for you?
No, that really didn't change at all. You know, the thing that we always promise is the opportunity for early playing time. You know, I think if you sit in a room or sit in a living room of a young man and you promise him that he's going to start, or you promise him playing time right away, I think that's unfair to that individual because of the growth and development that it takes, and you never know. Each young man develops differently at their own pace. But what we still can promise is the opportunity to play early, and I think we've proven that within our football program. But I still think that's the state of college football today, is you need individuals to be able to come in and play early. And you look at sometimes the ingredients, you know, of the making of great players, it starts off with their value to special teams. You look at Jalen Reeves-Maben. You know, he made his mark on special teams early. You look what Evan Berry's been able to do. Special teams are as important to us as offense or defense. But, you know, everyone's always going to have that opportunity for playing time early.
Coach, you had a solid class assembled, it appeared, no matter what happened going into these last 48 hours. But how much has your own perception changed with the way you guys were able to close with what happened with Tyler Bird and Congo today?
Well, our challenge was to finish strong, and we thought, we had a great nucleus in this recruiting class already intact, and now if we could add to that, we wanted to do that, and we set forth, and we're going to go try to get the best players that fit our recruiting profile no matter where they're at. And to be able to add those individuals, whether it's Latrell Williams, whether it's Tyler Bird, whether it's Jonathan Combo, those individuals to us are difference makers, and they make you better being in your football program from a character standpoint, from a competitive character standpoint as well, and just the overall speed and athleticism in your program. So we wanted to finish strong. We knew it would be a challenge, but excited the way it turned out.
West and Steven Casper, and then Dustin Paul.
But I guess you never say never, but is it your understanding at this point this class is done, or is there anything else, I guess, potentially out there? And then secondly, you talked about adding speed to the class, some offensive skill, speed, and some things like that. How important was it to get a quarterback early and a guy who, other kids will want to come play with?
Well, Wes, first of all, the class is pretty much done, and we'll always look to add if we can add to the class. That's been our philosophy every single year. But in terms of a quarterback, getting a quarterback to commit early was very big for us because, you talk about the quarterback position, and one of the intangible traits that you look for are the leadership qualities. And Jarrett Garantano has those leadership qualities, and he was able to build relationships with his future teammates, with his peers, and that helped. But also the commitment level. Here's a young man that could have went anywhere in the country and had everyone pulling on him, even the last week in recruiting. He didn't take one other official visit, and he stayed true to his word. And everything is about loyalty and being a man of your word. And I thought that, Jarrett really signified that. He did a great job with that. I think that helped also solidifying this class.
Hey, Coach, how important was it to add Nigel Warrior and Tyler Bird to the secondary, and will Bird be tried on offense? I heard earlier that it might be kind of a little fight
Right.
to see who lands him.
The great thing about Tyler Bird is position flexibility, and that's the other thing that we wanted to bring in players that could play a multitude of different positions. It provides you flexibility within your football program. And so to be able to add an individual like him really adds to the dynamics of your football team. In terms of Nigel Warrior, one of the best players in the state of Georgia, to be able to add him, a legacy football player, he brings a lot to the table. His energy, his passion, his football intelligence, his love for the game can't be measured. And then obviously he's a very, very talented football player. And the University of Tennessee means a lot to him. And when you bring legacy players in, that helps. And when you look at the culture of our football program, when I talk about our players being invested, there's great pride in here of being a Tennessee Vol. And that was evident with Nigel, and that's been evident now throughout the building of our football program, and that's really been helped by legacy players.
Dustin, and then we'll finish with Paul.
Coach, you've already kind of addressed this to some degree, but how important was the last 48 hours just in sort of filling any positional needs you still had, basically just to be able to kind of complete this class and get everything you wanted out of it?
It was big, and we still felt that there was room for more speed, more athleticism, and we were going to swing the bat. And again, it wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment decision by these individuals. Those have been relationships. That's been much, much time invested in them, and we were able to do that. When you add even a Latrell Williams, a 10.6, 100 meters, a 4.3, 4.4, 40, that adds, again, to the competitive element with position groups. It adds to your special teams. So, again, you can never have enough speed and athleticism. All right. Good to see everyone. Thanks for coming out, and happy signing day.